Welcome back, you all, to the Cerebral Palsy and Fitness Podcast. It's David back here with Brittany McCormick. She is a keynote speaker. She also focuses on disability advocacy, and she's also written a book. So, welcome, Brittany.
Hi. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and I'm excited for us to have a bit of a chat.
Definitely same here. And to get this conversation started, uh, what type of cerebral palsy do you have, and how early was the onset? When was it detected?
So I have cerebral palsy quadriplegia of high muscle tone, and I was only diagnosed at the age of 1.
That's a lot
Uh,
earlier than I was.
yeah.
Okay. Was it difficult for your parents at the beginning to kind of accept a diagnosis, or were they like, okay, so she has this, let's see what we can do to improve her quality of life?
So they had a pretty incredible attitude when it came to raising me. They chose to raise me to be as independent as I possibly could be. Um, they knew I had this condition, but that didn't stop them. No, it didn't stop them at all.
Good for you. Did you, as you were growing up, like going through school or just daily life, did you face any obstacles like bullying or just self acceptance of your own disability?
So I did struggle quite a lot with bullying. I was in and out of special needs school for many, many years. Um, I actually didn't finish school, but I didn't allow that to stop me. I still chased my dreams and I still made things happen with the grace of God and God's guidance and my family's guidance. I managed to be where I am today.
Was I guess since you mentioned faith, was faith a part of the reason that you're here today and still going strong?
Yes, God is my number one reason why I'm here today and why I'm still going strong. And He will continue to be.
So what are some I saw that you've done some keynote engagements. Could you share that with us? Like what types of keynote engagements you've done or podcasts, and what topics have you focused on?
So the topics I focus on is the ones I've created, which is seeing ability within the disability, and then perfection within imperfection, the overcomer, and then my most recent one, which is finding your purpose. But my most popular is the overcomer.
How do you find your purpose?
I find my purpose in helping other people understand that they have abilities, they are uniquely beautiful, and they are worthy enough to have success in life. And I believe that God uses my story to help me do that.
Is so would you say that everybody's purpose is different according to what path they want to take in life? Or can
Yes.
you, I guess, do you have like any tips or advice for someone that's trying to find their purpose, or is there like an outline or a guideline you use that people can take from you, like they can kind of guide themselves towards?
David, that's an interesting one to be quite honest. It's something that takes a lot of thought, a lot of time, and a lot of patience. And that is something that I went through. Heck, I even still go through it, you know, where I have to be patient and I have to understand that this is my circumstance. How do I work around it? What do I do to kind of develop my own process in the way that I can grow and develop in where I want to be in my own purpose? And if there's any advice that I could give to anyone, it's that You need to understand the 3 steps that worked for me, and I hope they work for you. 1, accept. 2, acknowledge. 3, start the process. And 4, understand that it takes time. It's not an overnight process.
When did you begin accepting your disability?
You know, I'm going to be quite honest. It took me quite a while. I was in my mid-teens, early adulthood when I officially said, okay, I understand. What can I do about it? I've always been a positive person, but from mid-teens to adulthood, that's when I started accepting that this is my condition, you know?
So for me, it wasn't until I guess the end of university, college, until I was about 25 is when I began accepting mine. So I feel like you and I have that in common, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So what are some keynote engagements you've done?
So I've done some talks for some NPOs, 1 or 2 companies, and 1 or 2 schools. And the outcome has been nothing but incredible. Actually, I just last week I finished a keynote for an NPO. Obviously, I'm keeping the NPO's names and schools and companies private because of their privacy, but
Right.
um, it's been incredible experiences, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
That is awesome. I think you mentioned you shared with me prior to the podcast that you were see about doing a TEDx.
Sorry?
You shared with me about doing a TEDx or a TED Talk like prior to our podcast. I think it was a few weeks ago, right?
David, I think you have the wrong person. That's not me. I didn't mention
Okay.
it.
Okay. Is it part of your plans, like maybe in the future you'd like to do something like that?
Yeah, in the very far future, yes, for sure.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's something that I would like to do too. It's just it's a big process and it takes a lot of time.
And also, they have standards where you have to be really good at what you do before you get to the TEDx standard.
Yes, that's right. And you have to have everything down to a T because you're timed, and you have to have that time perfected.
Yes, yeah. I know quite a few people that are professional speakers that are still striving to get to the TEDx because they said that is it's challenging. It's really hard. It's not as easy as what it looks. Um, and also, somebody was telling me you have to be nominated apparently to get into TEDx. But yeah,
Yeah. Yes, you do. And I guess the nomination process is even tougher because you have to have, and anybody, individuals, friends that know you or anybody that has seen you speak and they feel like, that you have what it takes to be up there on that stage,
yes,
and so, but I'm sure you're just glad to where you're at, to where you have every accessible available opportunity, schools and wherever to really share your story, and that's how you build those connections.
yes, and I think that is so important. And David, I heard something a few days ago, and it said you don't have to be great when you start, but you do have to start to be great. And that's one thing that stuck with me is that because so many people give up so quickly because it's hard, but they
Right.
lack the drive and the hunger to push forward.
So, is your is your process on how to do things is that available on your website where people can kind of look and see what you do and then inquire with you and kind of start a consultation?
Yes, so you can get in touch with me from my website. The descriptions of my keynotes are there, and If you're interested, I'd be happy to sit in a meeting with you and take things further. Whoever is interested.
And what is the website?
It's brittany.mccormick.co.za.
That's awesome. I hope everybody can really, if they're trying to find their purpose, really guide themselves to you and find you, and hopefully form a team, together where you're both are tackling various, projects and building that self-esteem and that confidence to really say, hey, you know what, this is my purpose. I'm going to go head on and push forward and get to that goal.
Do you know, David, I just see my life as an example of you can do it. I'm not a coach, um, but I do believe when I speak, people take actionable steps, whether it's small or big, they still take the steps, which is most important.
So where do you see yourself in the next few years with this? Do you see yourself like building it into something global where it's like everywhere and everybody knows who Brittany McCormick is, her process is, and that you're the main contact to reach out to?
You know, David, if that is of God's will, then yes. Um, it is a dream of mine, of course, to be globally known. But I just want to make an impact in the world, and I just want to make a change. So if that's going to be a part of it, then yeah, of course. Who doesn't want that? Um, it's honestly one day at a time, one talk at a time, one interview at a time, and one keynote at a time.
Speaking about impact, what does that word mean to you?
Impact means to me somebody that's come in and really shared something valuable and vulnerable with other people and have left something in those people's hearts. You know, where you've left just a thought or a memory that the person may never forget, that could also possibly change their very life. And it's all about just knowing that you are going to get to where your heart desires, no matter how long it takes you.
Right, and the key thing to that is you never give up on yourself. Just keep going.
Yes.
So speaking about all of that together, we talked about finding purpose. We talked about impact. Is that all something that you want to create a book for? Is it something you've already published and put out there? What kinds of excuse me, what kinds of publications have you gotten out there that people can see and read and really take in what you're trying to explain?
Well, no, I don't have a book yet. That is
Yeah.
a big journey. That's not for the faint hearted. You have to be dedicated to such a journey, and it has to be real, raw, and something you want. And I will have it in the future, but I don't have one currently. But I do inspirational videos on my Instagram account, and people can go ahead and watch those videos. I upload weekly, so yeah, people can catch up with what I do on there.
Awesome. It seems like you have your head right on your shoulders and your future planned out. And I hope and I wish for you the best. And I hope everybody here sees this podcast and feels the same and feels enlightened and empowered to pursue their own purposes.
You know, pursuing your purpose can't be given to you by somebody else. I can give steps of guidance and I can do all those things, but we need to also remember that my steps are not somebody else's steps. Maybe these very steps can be the steps to let somebody else make that decision of, hey, I need to start my own steps. I need to start my own process and I need to start believing in myself.
That's right. You hit all the points right off the bat. A home run, as they say here in the
Yeah.
U.S. and baseball. Well, Brittany, thank you for sharing everything. Thank you for giving your time, your expertise, and I hope to have you back on again one day to kind of build on this conversation with different topics.
Just let me know and I will be available to whenever you need help.
And if you guys are looking to inquire for with Brittany on finding your purpose, she's mentioned her website on the podcast, and of course I'll leave it on the link in the description so you guys can go check it out on the episode. And you'll got everybody will be able to find this episode on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and every other podcasting outlet out there. As always, until next time, and stay blessed. Thank you, Brittany.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Be safe out there, and happy Memorial Day weekend here in the U.S.